To abstain from food is a familiar practice to me, as choosing emptiness has always made me feel superhuman because of how fullness is the padlock to this prison in which I call this excruciatingly human form. Fasting, noun, the act or practice of abstaining from eating very little food, is a very familiar drug to me because when I wake in the morning to an empty body, I feel free. I feel untarnished, embellished with human error, perhaps so untarnished and unweighted that I could float, fly high, forget what it's like to trip over my feet, scrape a knee, to bleed, to hurt. I can forget what it's like to need anything. Fasting, noun, a period of such abstention or self-denial, is a familiar kind of abuse to me because even as I write this poem, early in the morning my stomach grumbles, but I tell her to hush, be quiet. You're still in time out from the night before, young lady. Breaking the fast has become both the ceremony and my day in court. I either congratulate myself with a medal of honorable restraint, or I spend hours persecuting my unbearably human errors of wanting and needing in hopes that self-flagellation will bring justice. Fasting, verb, to eat very little or abstain from certain foods, especially as a religious discipline, is a familiar kind of tradition to me because emptiness has become my dogma. Fear and guilt are my communion, and my body is the temple. Fully equipped with a pristine exterior that could shatter at the slightest touch of shame, insecurity, and regret. My bones are the pews that make a comfortable seat for anxiety, who likes to sit in the front because she never sleeps. Depression, who sits in the back in case she wants to sleep, even though she shows up every week. And a false sense of self-importance, who is sprinkled amongst the congregation in audacious hat wear, shouting the occasional, "Preach, preacher!" They all tithe 10% of their destructive behavior into my psyche at least once a day, usually before breakfast, and especially after dinner. I baptize my fingers in drool as a way to escape the loud moans of the ghost of fullness's past. I'll chew on my fingertips so perhaps the groans will cease just for a moment. My body will dwindle one morsel at a time, and who I was before I reached holy emptiness will be submerged in sinful spit, and I'll never have to acknowledge her existence again. It may only seem like food to you, but to me, it's like boulders hurled down into the narrow well that is my body. It may only seem like food to you, but to me, it's like unflakeable snakeskin that I will never shed. It may seem like just food to you, but to me, it is a sin that my body will not be able to forgive until it's empty again. However, today, the clouds of shame and fear dispersed, and I could finally see my body in its full glowing hue, a hue that effortlessly reflects the day, a skin that soaks up sun rays, showing me how simple receiving love can actually be. I sprinkle the seeds of self-love into the fertile soil, the soft terrain that is my skin, and I show myself that yes, I am capable of giving a love so sweet and sacred as well. So today, right before breakfast, I knelt down on one knee and kissed my legs. And rather than asking for insatiable shape-shifting, I asked them for forgiveness instead. I asked them to continue to love me better than I have loved them, for they have held me, supported me, carried me when I did not want to carry them. They said yes. They would grow with me, hurt with me, deal with me, heal with me. For they have never lost sight of where we're going, and I will never regret a single day, step, stumble along this beautifully imperfect path we tread. Thank you.